Hey guys, KinoFlex here. What you're about to watch is a conversation between myself and YouTubers Resikin and Backseater on the new Captain America Brave New World movie. I had to give major thanks to Resikin for making the thumbnail for this video, Backseater for recording it, and both of them for allowing me to upload to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it if you guys could check out their channels and subscribe. And if you're new here, I would greatly appreciate you subscribing to my channel as well. With all that being said, let's get started.
How you doing, all you beautiful sons of bitches? It's your boy Backseater here, and today I'm with Kino and Resikin, and they are going to be talking about, I'm just here for the fucking cookies, man. They are going to be talking about Captain America 4, so what did you guys think of that film?
Do you want to start this off, Resikin?
No, I think you should start us off, actually. But yeah, happy to be here.
That's fine. Yeah, so it's been talked about for a while now because a lot of people thought it was going to flop. A lot of people thought it was not going to do very well, and I wasn't a fan of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is what this was.
Nobody was.
What preceded this. Yeah, so I wasn't really expecting much from it, but once I saw it, it wasn't as political. It wasn't as pandering with its politics as Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I would still say it was bad. Everything about it was bad. I can think of. It was basically a weaker Captain America film in every regard. Like the fighting choreography wasn't very good. The cinematography wasn't very good. It wasn't good to look at. At times, the CGI was like Thor: Love and Thunder tier for me. And also the dialogue just wasn't clicking for me. Like it felt as though it was written by a bunch of elementary schoolers. Because it wasn't very complex dialogue. It was just like very straightforward and to the point, and a lot of the times it felt like they're giving pointless exposition. It's a classic problem of telling and not showing. And we're going to discuss. I think we're going to discuss the plot in chronological order. You and I, Resikin, like from start to finish. So we can delve into like the problems of the film then and there. But as just in general, I thought it was in terms of MCU movies, it was pretty weak. It honestly felt like filler. If you can skip an MCU movie, I would say you can skip this one and not really miss anything. And I'll explain why later.
Like Ant-Man 3, for example. Maybe not as bad as that one. Because the thing is, I'm a DC fan, you can kind of tend to tell by my profile picture, so I'm already like used to more like, deep storytelling and just, themes that you can expand upon later, discuss with your friends. Because like I brought some of my friends to watch it, and you could tell who liked it and who didn't based on who were Marvel fans or who were DC fans. Marvel fans, because honestly, man, while this film wasn't that good, it was a lot better than most of what we've gotten recently. I don't think it was nearly as egregious as most of Phase 5 or even Phase 4. As for the film itself, because I don't hold Marvel to a high of, a standard, I think I can give it a little bit more leeway. I was expecting it to be bad. I honestly came away with like a 3 out of 5 stars, kind of like, 7-ish, 6.5-ish out of 10, because I didn't, like, for example, it has so many of the things that every MCU film has that like just drives you crazy. Like, for example, I'm a big Hulk fan. Like I think he's my favorite superhero. Period. Also my main and Marvel rivals.
Oh wait, that's another thing. This is more, in a lot of ways, this is more of a sequel to the original Incredible Hulk film back in 2008 than it is a Captain America film.
Yeah, but for some reason Hulk isn't in it, which is it's not a spoiler, like, because I don't want to disappoint you guys, because I was disappointed. He doesn't even show up in the post credits. Like it was just really stupid. But yeah, no, like you said, it was kind of a sequel to that, and they incorporated some elements of that, which I thought was cool. But otherwise, like, for example, the jokes, it's like when he first transforms into the Red Hulk, it's actually like handled really well. The CGI looks great, a lot better for the Hulk. Like, this is the best I've ever seen the Hulk looking, in my opinion. Because usually the transformations, like with what's his name, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, looks kind of wonky, and they usually just completely take the camera off of him, so he transforms in the background. But yeah, so like, for example, he first transforms, it's like horrific, it's like, very tense because it happens pretty later on, and then she's like, oh, I thought they were supposed to be green. I'm like, bro, enough of these jokes, man. It's like it reminds me of Ant-Man 3, because at Ant-Man 3 at one point the villain is like, whoa, that guy can grow. I'm like, why do you like make it's like seeing Superman fly and be like, that guy can fly. It's like it's like, don't point out the obvious.
Thanks,
like,
Captain Obvious. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the self-referential jokes that just like take you out
It's
of
a
the
bird,
film.
it's a plane, it's Superman. Yeah, that classic bit.
Yeah, no, it's self-referential jokes that kind of like pull you out of the film. And like there's this one scene, for example. I'm gonna just stop here after this note so we can like go into the plot discussion. But like they're explaining to Isaiah Bradley, one of the original Captain Americas, right? Is that how it is in the comics? Like they're explaining to him like how to use like airdrop, and that kind of like takes you out of the film because it's like one of those like pop culture like current things. It's like it's no longer like reserved to the superhero universe, and yeah, that happens in the comics too. Like I'm not gonna pretend it doesn't, but I just don't like it because it's like, oh, okay, now they're discussing something that I probably discussed with my friends. There, it's no longer as larger than life, and that's kind of what's always bothered me about the MCU, and that's always been the case, even like back when it was good or when Marvel fans say it was good.
Right. Yeah, like you said, I think now's a good point to get into the spoiler territory, and do like a breakdown of the plot if we can.
Alright.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna go off my notes. Feel free to chime in if I miss anything or get anything like incorrect. But for what I have first is that the movie opens with Thunderbolt Ross, who for the majority of the time has been portrayed by William Hurt since 2008. Until he sadly passed away due to old age. Now he's being portrayed by Harrison Ford, who doesn't really need any introduction.
And I'm pretty sure Harrison Ford is like even older now, so they're gonna have to recast him soon too.
Yeah, well, that's another thing we'll get to later. But this might be the last time we see General Ross. But that's just what I say. All right. So getting back, the movie opens with Thunderbolt Ross giving a speech as the newly elected president, stating how important it is to secure the recently discovered Celestial Island and the adamantium metal found within it. Some other things of note is that Ross is shown taking pills for his heart, which will matter later on. The movie also tells us that Ross's daughter Betty despises him and refuses to associate with him after his attempts to hunt down Bruce Banner way back in the 2008 movie. And
before we get any further,
go ahead.
Before we get any further, what do you think of the recasting? Because for me, at least, I was really initially opposed to it. Yeah, because I was like, oh, this is stupid. Like, he doesn't even look like they should have gone the guy from The Walking Dead. Like Negan's like second in command. What's his name?
I don't know what it is. I don't know. I stopped.
You mean the guy who played Trevor or something?
Yeah, yes, exactly. I thought that he probably would have been a good fit. The guy who plays Trevor, what's his name? Simon, Walking Dead, actor. Yeah, Stephen Ogg. I think he would have made
yeah, Trevor, yeah.
I think I was like, why didn't they just get him? Like, he kind of already looks like the one who passed away. It's funny because I remember when he passed away, like there was like memes of people making fun of MCU fans because the first reaction they had was not like RIP, it was like, oh no, we're not gonna get Red Hulk anymore. This just goes to show the consumer they are. But yeah, no, I was initially like Harrison Ford, like that's out of nowhere, but I think he actually did a pretty good job of like portraying him like, a rageful guy who's like trying to keep it in, and like it wasn't at all goofy. I think it was a pretty solid performance.
Yeah, I don't really have anything negative to say about Harrison Ford's performance. What I do have to say, though, is that for a while now, people have been very vocal about not recasting actors who have passed away and just having characters in universe stay dead. The biggest example of this would, of course, be Chadwick Boseman, who played Black Panther. And the person who took up the mantle of Black Panther was Shuri in Wakanda Forever. And I just deeply
such
dislike...
a bad decision, man. Yeah.
I deeply dislike that way of thinking, because there's this really stupid notion that once an actor plays a character, then the character in question must mirror the actor from now on until the end of time. That's a very closed-minded mentality for me, and it limits creativity.
Yes, Kino, because like, that's just one of my biggest fucking problems, because, like, you should only kill a character off when there's absolutely nothing more you can do with that character. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've run the well dry with them, there's nowhere left to take them, and all that, so it's just better just, like, cut them loose right there. As much as I make fun of Hollywood, I would like to work in there in one day, and I would like to, you know, add my own stuff to pre-existing stories, right? I'm a big Power Rangers fan, right? I have this big fucking idea for Power Rangers I'd like to make happen one day, but Tommy, and anyone who probably remembers a few years ago, Jason David Frank, Tommy Oliver's actor, he passed away. And as much as I love Jason David Frank as Tommy Oliver, I am not going to kneecap my story just because JDF is dead and he can't come back to play Tommy. I already find it bad enough that they killed Trini off because, you know, Tui Trang passed away, you know, tragically too. But yeah, I am not going to do that. But yeah, anyways, that's my tangent aside. So yeah, only kill the character off when the character has run their course. There's nothing to do with them anymore. But yeah, anyway,
or you can kill them off and bring them back as Dr. Doom.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Baxter. Just because an actor dies does not mean that the character that they were portraying exhausted their narrative use.
Plus, I'm sorry, Kina. Also, it pretty much robs future actors of the chance to play these iconic characters. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So basically, right. I see that like you guys are kind of like you're kind of like opposed to each other's views. So Kinoflex thinks it's an opportunity to like, you know, change things. And
no. I don't disagree. Oh no, I don't disagree with Bax here. My point is, if a character still serves a narrative purpose within the story, then a new actor should absolutely take the role.
Oh, okay. So I agree with you. Like I think it would have been dumb to just off a character as important as you know, General Thunderbolt. But
yeah.
For like Black Panther, for example, and this is a tangent, I'm gonna be very brief. I really hated the second film because they made Shuri when they could have just made Daniel Kaluuya, who played like the other. I forgot what's his name. You know, the guy from Get Out.
Yeah, from Get Out.
He should have just been the new Black Panther because he was already like, you know, in high status in the tribe. So I don't know. This.
And he could have had a whole arc of just redeeming himself for what he did in the last movie by betraying T'Challa.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
So so to sum it all up, you shouldn't just chain the character to their actor, plain and simple.
Yeah, don't bring them out. Don't bring them back with CGI though. I fucking hate that deep fake shit.
Yes.
Yeah. Black Panther fans, you got scammed. They changed War Machine. They would change War Machine's actor from Terrence Howard with Don Cheadle. They changed Bruce Banner's actor from Edward Norton to
Give
Mark
me PTSD,
Ruffalo.
Man. I hate that. I hate the worst.
This is
worst
completely
recasting of all time. There's not a single one that comes worse, in my opinion.
Yeah, but still, recasting should not be demonized. It's perfectly fine to do. But back to the movie. We join. Now, do you guys want to call him Captain America? Because I kind of personally like calling him Captain Falcon because it has a nice ring to it.
Falcon Punch!
I honestly, I was the same way, but I never watched Captain America Winter Soldier. I know that one was politically charged. I saw like the cringe clips online. It's like, don't call them terrorists, General, or whatever.
Well, that's actually no, that wasn't Winter Soldier. That was Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I said. Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah, so I never watched the show, I just saw that it was cringe, and I didn't like the idea of Falcon being Captain America, especially because, like, the wings and stuff. But I feel like they showed here that, like, you can, like, utilize the wings so that they're not, like, out all the time, and it's actually, you know, pretty cool. And he was no longer, I mean, there was, like, comedic moments that were in the script, but I feel like the actor, like, really settled into the role. I felt like he wasn't, you know, just Falcon anymore. Although I would have preferred that Winter Soldier take up the mantle, because I'm pretty sure that's what happens in the comics. But
yeah, chronologically, Bucky becomes Captain America next, and then it's and then it's Sam. But let's see. So we join Captain Falcon or Captain America and his new sidekick.
Oh my god, the new sidekick! Can I talk about the new sidekick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Joaquin Torres, motherfucker.
Oh my god. Is he a real character? Or did they make him up?
Yes, he is. He's from the books, and he's an illegal immigrant.
No,
Oh my
he
God.
is better. He's actually better in the movie than he is in the comics because
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
he's not just an illegal immigrant. He becomes like a Falcon vampire after getting bitten by a redwing.
Oh my God.
Falcon's like actual Falcon sidekick.
Oh my God. That's actually interesting.
Oh
It's
my
like a
god,
game of,
Marvel's
like-
running out of ideas.
Yeah, no, weird. But like, what I hated about his character is that number one, like it conflicted with like sometimes, yeah, had a conflicting tone the whole film. 'Cause sometimes it's like being darker, and other times it's just like, hey, snap back to reality. You have like these dumb MCU jokes. But he is what I like to call the I can't believe I'm a superhero character, and I am honestly so sick of this trope. I've never liked it. I think the only time it worked for me was in Zack Snyder's Justice League with the Flash, because like it wasn't all the time, and like he was just one of like 5 people. But like if he's on screen like half the time and he's like the sidekick, he's just gonna be quipping back and forth. I feel like he just really detracts, from the moments. It was on screen for way too long. Luckily, like towards the middle, like he started disappearing. Like he's only at the beginning and end, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't
The
as
problem-
bad as like, sorry.
Yeah, the problem with him is that he's totally just there so that people don't call Sam Wilson the Falcon anymore. That's just his whole purpose. Not really.
Yeah. Also, I think
anything
he's for
else
the
me.
kids, just to like be the funny guy.
Yeah, like the
That's what my-
self-insert.
Are
Yeah, that's
kids
what my
even
friends
are
said.
kids even still watching the MCU? Because I doubted he's for them.
I mean,
Mm.
I see
don't
like
know.
a few.
I get
kids
what
in
I
the
get what
theater.
I get what you're saying, Groovy Guy, but
Yeah.
still, it's like most like in my experience, most people who are fans of superheroes and like they buy their comics and watch their films, they're adults. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, I agree. But the studios still want to like sell toys and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's why like
technically, like the primary people buying the tickets are adults anyway,
Yeah.
so they're all
Like,
they're
for-
gonna
yeah,
be bringing
exactly.
their kids with them.
Or for example, like Warner Bros. Like, the reason why like Doomsday has like a shitty design in Batman vs Superman? He had a much cooler design, and then Warner Bros. Were like, oh, he's too scary, so like that's changing. You know why Steppenwolf looks like a dude with a helmet in the Whedon cut of Justice League? Because like he was supposed to be the original design. They're like, oh, that's too scary. Like, let's make him look stupid instead. Like, what are these like
Yes.
decisions? Yeah, like
Yeah,
for
yeah,
kids.
studio interference sucks. It's something that needs to be curtailed. Just let artists be themselves.
Yeah.
If they shoot themselves in the foot, let them shoot themselves in the foot.
I suppose so. But yeah, so it reminded me of like the Shang-Chi problem. I don't know if you remember that film. I watched it in theaters
Yeah, I
as well.
remember it.
It was a pretty decent film, but the main problem was like Aquafina's character, who wouldn't shut up. She was just like there the whole time, like making the quips and the remarks. I'm like, oh, I can like, oh, he's like having,
Aquafina.
Hey, have you not heard that Scotto by?
yeah, just terrible actress. She ruined Kung Fu Panda 4. Like, it's the studio's fault more than hers, because I just hated that character in general. Like that character,
Well,
like I don't
no,
care who
people
played her.
just hate. People just hate her voice in general.
It's-
Like I see a lot of people.
Yeah.
Hear a lot of people saying that just in every like animated film where she's voicing a character, there's
Why
someone
is she
that
always-
could be better cast.
Why would you cast someone like that in an animated film where you only hear their voice? And she's not a particularly good actor either. I don't understand that. It probably has, pictures of studio execs or something in her hard drive.
Mhm.
But yeah. Okay, yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say about that guy, the new Falcon. I just didn't like him. I thought he was annoying. But like you said, I think it is also to say, hey, this guy's not Falcon anymore. He's Falcon. I didn't think of it that way, but that definitely makes sense.
Yeah, but so Captain Falcon and his new sidekick, Junior Falcon, are raiding a church in Mexico that's being used by the criminal Sidewinder to store illegally obtained adamantium. He's played by, I'm probably going to butcher his name, Giancarlo Esposito, who plays the role. If you're not familiar with him, he played Gus Fring in Breaking Bad and countless other roles. But he plays the same role over and over again. I
was
don't
just
hate
about
him,
to say
but
that,
it's
yeah.
just he just plays the same role over and over again, just like a dark, brooding, stoic villain.
It was like charisma, yeah.
Yeah, and how'd you feel about him in this movie? Because despite the advertising, he only appears in like 3 scenes.
I think those 3 scenes are enough. I actually liked the scene where like he tries to kill Captain America. I thought that was pretty cool. It was like practical effects, like you can actually see like the car exploding and shit. Which I thought was yeah, but like he was more so a plot device than anything else. Like, oh, they hired
more of a
him
red herring for the actual villain.
Exactly, yeah. And you could tell he was a too. It was pretty obvious. It's not like there's a twist.
Yeah. But Captain Falcon comes to the fight, comes to fight him and his men, and we get a glimpse of just how, to me at least, this is just how unappealing the film looks, because the action choreography is not as impressive as the opening like fight scenes for Winter Soldier or Civil War even, because Winter Soldier, when Steve Rogers is fighting Batroc, the Leaper.
Batroc the Leaper, yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of weight to the fight, and like there's very unique choreography. But here, I just felt it was just them punching each other over and over again. Like that one guy who said, like, if you remember Reskin, he was saying, "Oh, I wanted to fight the real Captain America."
Oh yeah.
And then just the conclusion of that fight, which just felt like pretty underwhelming.
It was, because it looked pretty cool. It's like, oh, he's overpowering him. I think it would have been cool if he overpowered and defeated him, and then like the army, because the army came up immediately after the fight, like, and then someone like had to like shoot the guy off of him. You know what I mean? And then like it would be like, oh shit, I can't beat everyone because I'm not a super soldier. You know what I mean?
And that's another weird thing, because even though he's not a super soldier, even though he's not a super soldier, he's just a regular guy. And after the events of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he's given a Wakandan super suit. So the suit you see him wearing all throughout the film, he's now on par with Black Panther, I guess, in terms of power set. But he's still a regular guy who can struggle against another regular guy who's just good at fighting. And how do you guys feel about that? There's him having a Wakandan super suit.
Well, I mean, just him. Well, I mean, the suit kind of fucking diminishes the fact that he is a regular guy. Because the whole fucking point why you'd even have a superhero not have superpowers is to show them struggling more against their threats. So when you give him this fucking suit that makes him damn near invincible, it just ruins it all. It's like, you guys remember fucking CW's Batwoman? This is if you guys saw that piece of shit show, this is a very similar problem to that. Because in season freaking 1 of that show, they constantly hyped up the bat suit in that show. Like, oh, the bat suit is bulletproof. Nothing can get through the bat suit. The only thing
oh my god.
Yeah.
The new Batman movie. The new Batman movie is fucking Iron Man armor. Like, there are two guys machine gunning him, like, at point blank range, and nothing happens.
Yeah, but
like, that is honestly just stupid creative decision.
Well, groovy guy. If you've ever seen it, it's like nothing can stop the bat suit. The bat suit is totally, it's the finest suit ever built. The only thing that can really pierce it is a shard of kryptonite. Yes, really, kryptonite is Batman's weakness in Batwoman, apparently. But anyway, it's like, yeah. And I think the writers of that piece of shit show realized that, which is why they kept walking it back the further they got into the show's 3-season run. Because now Batwoman got knocked out by being hit over the head with a trumpet, for example. Then she got tasered into unconsciousness, and they kept doing this. Yeah,
that's an allegory. That's an allegory for the president, Donald Trump, oppressing minority.
He's bringing down a strong woman. My point's
overall my point
I wouldn't
is
be surprised if that's actually what they said in the writers' room.
Yeah, but anyway, my point is that like they got so they pretty much any tension that could have been had with Kate or Brian eventually struggling against villains went out the window, because if she could fall from like a 40-story height onto a speeding truck and she'd be fine just like that. So it's the same problem here, more or less.
Yeah, my problem with it is the fact that he was able to acquire, like, I understand he held the Wakandans in the show, but the fact that it's easier for him to get a suit, a superpowered suit, with all sorts of, that's made from vibranium, one of the most sought after resources in the entire world, and he's in the show, he struggles to get a bank loan for a boat. Like that to me it just reminds me of how stupid that the show's premise was. Because you're telling me a superhero, a guy who not only saved the world, but half of the population of the universe struggles getting a bank loan. That wouldn't just cause like domestic outrage in the country. That would cause like global outrage. They would like the banker that denied him a loan in the show would face would become modern pariahs. They would be hated by everyone and not only forced to give Sam Wilson what he asked for, the loan he asked for, but like double it. That's assuming that he didn't made a ton of money from like crowdfunding or anything.
I don't think the banker would be forced to do shit. They would be villainized and then it'd just blow over in the media. Because bankers like really have most of the power in this country, if we're being honest.
Yeah, but only to an extent. And I felt like it didn't really address the types of people that like get screwed over by bankers. Like regular people get screwed over by bankers. But if you're like a hyper celebrity, like at the top 1%, you're not really getting screwed over
that's
by
true.
a bank.
It should have been maybe like his friend, not him himself. Because I get what the show is trying to do, but like try to raise awareness. But that's something what happened to Peter Parker, you know? Because you know what I mean? Like it makes sense. Peter Parker, no one knows he's Spider-Man, and he's just like an average guy. But obviously, like that's the thing with Marvel. Like most of their superheroes don't have secret identities. So
yeah, well, in the case of like the Falcon, like he's completely open. Like he doesn't have a secret identity. The same as Scott Lang, and who in Quantum Mania, I believe, was a celebrity. So again, like people love the Avengers. People love these heroes in the universe, and the idea that they wouldn't get like a bunch of overwhelming support for being denied like a bank loan for stupid reasons, I should add, it's just like absurd to me.
Okay,
but again, like I don't know, I also see some problems of why they would give Sam Wilson, an American, like someone from not necessarily an enemy nation, but a foreign rival, nonetheless, access to a superpowered like Wakandan suit. Because wouldn't they be afraid that they might have to work against, like compete against him for something? It's just like a
Also, bro, isn't he just the Black Panther now? Because the Black Panther has the herbs and stuff. But it's just like, I don't know, it's just kind of silly. Because the thing is, Captain America has, I don't know if he's always had it, but for a while now he's had a vibranium shield, but like not the entire suit. I feel like that's going a little bit overboard.
Yeah. It's like, why even need the shield at that point anymore? It's like, just use yourself.
Yeah, just like use your gauntlets or something. But as for the action, I didn't think it was terrible, but it definitely was nowhere near Winter Soldier, or maybe even the first Avenger. It was probably on Civil War's level. I wouldn't say it was worse.
Yeah, so let's see. After Captain Falcon finishes off the goons, Sidewinder gets away and trains with Isaiah, the secret super soldier introduced in the show. Sam gets a phone call from now President Ross, inviting him to the White House, where a world summit is happening to prepare for the extraction of adamantium from the Celestial Island. Samuel Stearns, the leader, hacks the White House security system and watches the summit. He also hacks into the phones of Isaiah and the other Secret Service agents to display flashing images that causes them to get brainwashed. While this happens, Captain Falcon speaks to Ross, who requests him to lead the effort to reassemble the Avengers, claiming that he's had a change of heart considering the state of the world and that they both need to work together now. How do you guys feel about this? Isaiah getting brainwashed,
oh, that was so stupid.
Ross,
Like
Ross acting. Yeah,
like,
Ross
I turned
acting,
around
asking. Yeah, go ahead.
No, keep going.
Like Ross asking Sam to reassemble the Avengers. Like, how do you feel about all that?
Okay, Ross asks Sam to reassemble the Avengers. I thought that part was cool because it's gonna happen regardless. It's like, oh, okay, interesting. It's like it's repeating plot points from Civil War. It's like the government kind of wants to be in on it. Number one, and number two, bro. Like I said this and like my sister caught on to it. It's like it's fucking Incredibles 2, like the screenslaver.
Yeah. also, like I get that Isaiah Bradley's, aged a lot better because of the super soldier serum, but God, he's still an old ass man. What the hell's he gonna do for ya?
Yeah, and that's another thing I forgot to mention. When he's training with Isaiah in the gym, he gets his ass beat, like Sam Wilson, he gets his ass beat by Isaiah pretty easily. And again, like just making you remember that this is a normal ass dude. He is not like, so keep this in mind when he eventually fights the Red Hulk at the very end.
Bro, when he's like crushing his head with all his might, he would have fucking died, bro.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
I
dude,
know.
Captain America would have died. Like the actual Captain America with like the super soldier serum would have died if
Yes.
he was fucking squeezing his head. Yeah.
Yeah, Captain America, Black Panther, they both would have died against the Hulk. It's like no contest, but we're a movie ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's see. Shortly after this, Ross gives a presentation explaining the importance of adamantium, which the leader uses as an opportunity to hack into the speakers and play a song that triggers the brainwashed agents into attacking the president and the other politicians there. Isaiah shoots Ross and runs away confused after the brainwashing wears off, which leads to him getting arrested. Ross appoints Ruth, a former Israeli Black Widow, as the lead investigator of the attack because he doesn't trust Sam to investigate. For some reason, Sam doesn't push the possibility that Isaiah was brainwashed, despite that being a major plot point with Bucky for the two previous Captain America movies.
It took him like 2 hours to like realize or something. It was fucking stupid as hell.
Yeah, and again, like these aren't just like small plot points. Like the entire plot of Winter Soldier and Civil War revolved around Bucky being brainwashed and like the fallout from that. So you'd think that it would matter to him in this movie.
Like,
but
if the audience
it
realizes immediately, like the superhero should realize it immediately. Like I think that should be a general rule of thumb. I'm sure there's like dramatic irony, but like if you're there for the events, then it doesn't make sense for you not to get it. You know what I mean?
Another thing that's weird to me is that Ross just changes into a completely different character mid-conversation when Sam says that they need to work together, because Ross says that the door is now closed because his friend tried to kill him, and then tells him that he's not Steve Rogers. I don't know, that to me just seemed like very weird and trying to be like a very on the nose, like sort of straw man of what people who criticize the direction to make Sam into Captain America. It's just trying to criticize the audience that thinks that.
I think it's more so just like he's hot-headed, like within the context of the film, because you know obviously there's like ulterior motives, but just within the context of the film, I think it works because he's like hot-headed. He probably brought himself to say that in the beginning. He didn't really want it.
I mean, Ross is that kind of character in the books anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, so I think obviously like the remarks that you're not the real Captain America, like that was obviously being driven home by the writers to show that, oh no, he is eventually going to show that to be the case. But just that in particular, I feel like that works on its own. It's only bad, I feel like, if it just totally, flips the narrative or it doesn't make sense for the characters to say what they say.
Yeah, and I get that, but also at the same time, it kind of makes you ask what the point of Falcon and the Winter Soldier was, because that show was supposed to like sell you on the idea of Sam Wilson becoming Captain America, and now they still need to try convince you in this movie that he's Captain America. It just makes you question. I'm gonna just be
real. I feel like most people just don't. I don't watch the show. I feel like most people don't watch the shows, so it's just gonna repeat plot points from that. Kind of like Multiverse of Madness. Like it's like, oh, you have to watch WandaVision. I never watched WandaVision, but like they repeated the points so you could get it if you didn't watch it.
Yeah. And I get that, but I don't know. It just feels as though the movie kind of requires you to have seen the show. But I can understand the perspective that with the exposition and just like the dialogue, it can speed viewers up. I understand that, but let's see.
Probably like a summary, because I did feel that at times.
Yeah, but like how do you guys feel about the new Black Widow, or I think in the comics she's called Sabra?
Sabra. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, how do you guys feel? I hope she does not return. Like my theater did not like her. She was like groaning. She had like a funny line about wanting to bang Winter Soldier, but other than that, like I did not fuck with her.
I'm not super familiar with Sabra. I'm not a bit. I don't know much about her, so like if she doesn't come back, I'm not gonna cry over it. But Marvel's probably not gonna bring her back because. From what little I do about her, Sabra is basically supposed to be, unlike most other superheroes who are either free agents or if they do work for the government, it's typically like they work for a fictional agency like S.H.I.E.L.D. like Shield doesn't exist in the real world. Sabra works for Mossad, which, as we all know, is a real fucking agency for Israel. And Sabra is basically a big ol' like, oh, my country, right or wrong type character, like Camus from Fire Emblem. So basically, they're probably not gonna bring her back because of all the shit going on over there, or at least not until like all that shit dies down. But either way, I'm not gonna cry if she does or doesn't come back.
No,
Yeah, you're absolutely
because I feel like I did read that like they cut down her role a lot in the film. It wasn't as significant because of everything that went down and like the negative association with the country she's from. But yeah, as for like I kind of liked how she was like kind of telling the president how to think while like Captain Falcon or Captain America was trying to explain what was going on. She was like, oh yeah, but this. Oh, okay, so you're saying that this. And he's like, no, I'm not saying that. And she's like translating what he's saying in the wrong way to Thunderbolt, General Thunderbolt.
Yeah, in terms of Sabra, like the only thing notable about her as a superhero is that she's Jewish, and so it invites a lot of people who are like of the vocally like free Palestine to boycotting the movie. And I definitely think that in reshoots, they say that they didn't reshoot the film. That's bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Oh my god! Did you like especially here, like when like Captain America is giving like General Thunderbolt like the heartfelt speech about being able to change, like suddenly there's like an abrupt cut and his like tone of voice raises. It's like, oh, they just cut down that.
Yeah,
that scene
but
there. It was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but getting back to Sabra, like I think one of the rewrites, like this is just a theory, I have no proof to back this up. I think she was supposed to be like an actual IDF agent, like in the comics, but in the movie, she works directly she's former Israeli intelligence, but she's now just works directly for the United States. I feel like that's a subtle change.
Yeah, oh, you better believe that is.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens all the times in real life, so it's not too much of a stretch.
Yeah,
jump from one to the other.
Yeah. But like, last thing before I move on, like, I think another thing worth pointing out is that Sabra is another Hulk character, technically, because her first appearance was in a Hulk comic.
Yes.
Yeah, so just the ongoing theme of just Hulk characters that belong in a Hulk movie showing up in a Captain America movie.
I found a really good YouTube comment that says it all. So shout out to D Archangel David. This is clearly a Hulk movie with a couple of Captain America tie-ins. Most of the characters in this movie are from the Hulk comics as either villains or cohorts. Why not just add Hulk to the movie? They can clearly still use him. Because remember, for a long time... Sorry, Groovy Guy. For a long time, Disney and Marvel Studios were just not allowed to use Hulk because Universal still owned like half of the rights. So if Marvel was going to make a Hulk movie, they had to split the profits with Universal. Now that they have them all back, and they made that piece of shit She-Hulk show, and now this film, there's no reason Hulk can't be the leading man of his own movie or show or whatever the hell.
I honestly don't think he should be, because Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is just damaged beyond repair.
Yes.
They brought back Betty Ross, who was Edward Norton's love interest. Just bring the guy back. You can bring back anyone. You're the richest studio in the world. Mm-hmm. Nobody likes Mark Ruffalo Hulk. He's a fucking laughingstock. He was alright for a couple of films. And then the one film he was like a little bit good in, like you gave him like an auto-tuned voice. Thor Ragnarok absolutely butchered the Planet Hulk storyline. Like if you watch, I don't like doing the animated film comparison, but in this case it applies because the animated film was way better than Ragnarok. You took one of like Hulk's all-time best stories and you turned it into like kind of a joke for
Gave it to Thor.
Exactly. And number two, like you bring his son Scar like as a joke in like the She-Hulk thing. Like, please just pretend he doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, they put Hulk through so much badass decay in that show.
Yeah. Just like, I think his character is tarnished beyond repair. I think like at this point, just bring back Edward Norton's Hulk, just explain it away with the multiverse thing. I think that's how you revive the character.
I mean, Edward Norton's Hulk is still a part of the MCU, so they could just say, hey, Mark Ruffalo is Ed Norton the whole time, or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Or they could just bring him back and just not acknowledge that there's a difference. And if so, just like say that he went to the gym or something. I don't know. Yeah, but
facial reconstructive surgery.
Yeah.
All right, so like one of those like Marvel jokes, like, "Hey, you look different."
I got a haircut. Yeah, so Sam decides to do his own investigation to exonerate Isaiah and goes to visit. Oh no, I already got to the. Oh no, he goes to visit him at the prison, who tells him that he has no memory of what happened and tells Sam to not get himself involved because he doesn't want him getting hurt. The new Falcon and Ruth both find out on their own about the flashing lights after looking at the security footage. As Sam is talking on the phone to Mexican and Falcon about it, driving away from the prison, Sidewinder shows up for the second time and ambushes him by himself, shooting at him and exploding his truck with a grenade. So a couple things. Like, first off, with the flashing lights, if it's so easy for them to figure that out, like, how come nobody else has figured that out, like, by reviewing the security footage? Why is it just Ruth and the new Falcon that figured it out? It should just exonerate Isaiah and the others immediately, right?
Yes. Because the plot. Because I don't. It's just written by modern Disney. Come on, Kino. It's just written by them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay, but I guess then we can move to Sidewinder jumping Sam, because he throws a grenade at him and he kind of just like vanishes out of the car behind Sidewinder.
Mm-hmm. He's like unscathed, yeah. Like, bro's not that, man. Yeah.
And even when a character has been previously established to like get out of a sticky situation, they need to show you how they did it. Like I remember in Nick Fury, like he was stuck in a car and he like got out of it by lasering his way out.
Yes.
You don't get that with Sam. He just like pulls a Batman, like you said, Resikin. Okay, let's see. They both fight hand to hand, and Sam gets stabbed with a knife. The fight ends at a junkyard with Sidewinder also getting stabbed and getting arrested. But before that, he reveals that he spoke to the buyer, the leader, and got convinced to follow his plan because apparently the leader is super smart and calculated, as though he's aware of every probability of every action ever. Let's see. He's so smart, for instance, that he, for some reason, calls Sidewinder's phone for Captain Falcon to answer, providing him with a location to track him down. Like, that's some high IQ behavior right there.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb. Like, I was actually kind of confused. Like, I was like, no way they're tracking him because of his cell phone call. And they're like, I guess they are. That's how they. Okay, that's stupid.
Yeah. So, besides like the power scaling with Sam and Red Hulk, the other thing that pisses me off the most is the leader, because he's portrayed. It's a classic case of a writer trying to write a smart character when they're clearly out of their depth. Because if he's so smart, he shouldn't be making these dumb decisions that he does, and he makes some more very dumb decisions as we go down the line.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No, but I want to say one thing about him. It's like one thing I liked about the leader is like, holy shit, bro. Like when he was aura farming at the presidential speech, he just pulled up with like the all black fit. He's just standing there and like Captain America like sees him, like, bro, dude, that was like next level shit right there. I was like, holy shit, he's aura farming.
He might have been aura farming, but the context around that is still weird because he didn't really need to show up. Like he could have just watched like the Red Hulk like commit mayhem at a distance. I don't know. That's just what I was thinking. But yeah, he did look cool in the black fit though. Okay, so meanwhile, Ross is struggling to keep the treaty alive with France and India telling him that they're out unless they can convince Japan to stay. Japan decides to step away from the treaty out of concern, and Ross decides to travel to Japan to convince them to reconsider their decision. Once he gets to Japan... go ahead.
One more thing about the leader before I forget. One thing I didn't like is that his design was pretty good, but it only works like when it's dark. Like in like daytime, he just looks kind of stupid. Like you could have just let stuff happen in the evening. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But once Ross gets to Japan, he learns that CIA money was used to pay Sidewinder, and Japan directly accuses him of being corrupt. So that puts them, the United States and Japan, in an awkward, like tense relationship.
Yeah.
Ruth, or Sabra, goes to visit Isaiah, and at the same time, the leader sends a new brainwashed soldier to kill all the arrested brainwashed agents. He kills them and then kills himself. causing Isaiah to be put in solitary confinement. I don't know what you guys think about this, but it makes zero sense why he does this later on, when the leader does this, when later on his motivations are revealed. And also, like, there should have been more guards, like, with the guarding the brainwashed, the people who were brainwashed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not just one guy.
It's just.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have to talk about that when we actually reveal his motivations, because then it gets to be like, oh, now it really doesn't make sense.
Right. So, and we're probably going to get to that right now. So,
all right, okay.
So Sam and the new Falcon arrive to the leader's location, an underground military facility where the leader has his lab. The leader then calls Ross and blackmails him to help him. It turns out Ross is actually really incompetent, and the only reason he became president is because the leader was his think tank and solved all of his problems for him after the events of the 2008 Hulk movie. Ross put the leader in the prison without a trial and used him to give him advice, create technology, and to help him with his heart failure by giving him the pills he's seen several times taking. Ross then orders Ruth to go to that same military facility. The leader is now acting after 16 years because Ross promised him he would release him after he became president. But since he wasn't keeping his word, the leader decided to destroy his legacy instead. So immediately, like, why didn't Ross just kill Stern or the leader after getting what he wants, despite being an obvious threat to him and his plans? Who knows? Well, he gives a reason, actually. He says, oh, I need more pills for my heart. But Resikin, do you think that he could have just had those pills mass-produced, or did he really need the leader to mass-produce all of those pills for him specifically?
Are they like special pills or something, like only leader can make?
They're like
I think
pills that
yeah.
use gamma radiation.
I think like this criticism is like a more of a nitpick one, because I feel like you can suspend your disbelief for it and be like, okay, he can only get it from the leader because the leader is like super smart, and like if he like reveals like what's in it, like it could come out that he has problems, and then there will be a controversy because he's keeping it to himself. I feel like you can explain away that one, so it doesn't. I thought actually it was pretty creepy.
Well,
that, like, he's
okay, groovy guy. Okay, that's all good and whatnot, but he's a smart gamma radiation scientist, but surely there are other gamma radiation scientists Ross could go to. Like, hey, you're a smart scientist. You want to make pills for the president? There's a lot of fucking money in there. Like, surely you could do that. What?
Baxter, that's actually a very good point, and he could.
I don't think Bruce Banner would help him.
Like, well, other ones.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Ross, they could have established that Ross's pride was so big that he wasn't willing to go to Bruce Banner for help to replicate the pills, and so that's what causes him to make that decision. But the movie doesn't say that.
Bruce, I can understand not doing that, but surely there are other scientists. Like, it's a scientific field, for God's sakes. Or does this movie really expect us to believe that the only two gamma radiation scientists on Earth are Bruce Banner and Sam Stearns? Are you kidding me with this shit? That's like saying
movie logic.
But that's like saying that like Reed Richards is the only physicist on Earth.
Yeah. Well, moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
The leader traps Captain Falcon with some sort of sound trap that he really could have just avoided by looking up.
Mm-hmm.
But the leader undoes the trap so that he can have them fight brainwashed soldiers for some reason. Like,
yeah, that was
that to me, like, really pissed me off, because he had him trapped, like, down there, dead to rights. Like, he's using his shield to shield him from the sound blast, and like he couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only when like the leader shuts it off, and he pretty much spared him right there for no reason. And I just didn't get that.
Yeah, especially since like he's like the only factor that could mess up his plan if he can calculate everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, let's keep going.
Captain Falcon and the new Falcon fight at the lab against brainwashed soldiers. Then Ruth arrives and very quickly and helps them, taking on several soldiers despite being 4'11". Meanwhile, the leader just leaves. Yeah, like I was not feeling Sabra's fight scenes because she should be dead. I don't care if she's a Black Widow.
Yeah.
Like, it was not convincing at all for me.
No.
But
I mean, honestly, let's be real. Like, female fight scenes rarely are, unless if it's like Wonder Woman, where she's like overpowered, or she's like a goddess or whatever.
yeah. Or you could just give them guns, but Marvel doesn't want to do that for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, so back to Ross. The Japanese army is heading to the Celestial Island, so Ross also decides to send the U.S. forces. The last scene we get with Sidewinder is him as a prisoner at a military camp, giving all the exposition about the leader to Sam and the audience. In that camp, Captain Falcon gets a guy to analyze the same type of pills Ford is taking that he conveniently found at the leader's lab, and they also learn that U.S. forces are moving against Japan and Japan's forces and towards the Celestial Island. So both.
Oh yeah, that's the dumbest thing, by the way. Like the whole trope, like it reminds me of the Amazing Spider-Man 1, where like he walks in Dr. Connor's lab. No, he walks in Dr. Connor's lab and like everything is just like playing out. it's like oh, you can immediately tell what's going on, like his plan and research. It's just like taped on the walls or like playing on the computer. It's like I always felt that was kind of dumb.
Yeah. But yeah, so they go over there and the leader goes to who I believe is the Admiral's house. He kills him and uses his phone to contact active air forces in Celestial Island to brainwash them into shooting missiles at the Japanese. And so Captain Falcon and Falcon Jr. stop the missiles, but the Falcon Jr. ends up injured. Meanwhile, the leader calls Ross to provoke him into turning into a Hulk to destroy the Japanese forces, but he resists and the conflict ends, much to his dismay. Yeah, how do you feel about the them stopping the missiles?
The flight scenes was pretty cool. I think that was fine.
I still think that that's not how it would realistically happen. No.
What would realistically happen? America would tell them to stand down, and they would.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like it's probably stupid if you analyze a bit more, but I'm just going off of what I saw from memory. It's not. I wouldn't say it's as dumb as the Red Hulk fight. I don't know. Somebody could break it down, point out how dumb it really is. Either way, I don't think the new Falcon should survive the explosion.
No.
Definitely not. Because remember, he doesn't have Wakandan armor. He doesn't have vibranium armor. He just has regular, it's military tech, but it's not like nothing that would really prevent you from dying from an explosion.
Yeah.
Okay, one more thing before I forget, but like when they got into the leader's like lab, and like Falcon Jr. is like explaining what he sees, and he says, "Oh, he's got the genetic data on every super soldier, right?"
Speak English.
Yeah.
Like use
genetic data, bro. Yeah.
It's
like you don't want me to like don't make me look up words. I'm like, you don't know what genetic data. Like I feel like even if you don't understand what genes are, like you can get like, well, it's like those is really a stretch. It's like, oh, let's throw in a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, like the dialogue is designed for like the lowest common denominator for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's just frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so Falcon Jr. gets taken to the hospital, and Bucky shows up for a cameo to speak to Sam.
Yay, Bucky! Where were you this
Mario.
entire film?
Apparently, he's a politician now. Like he's trying to run for office.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the leader then somehow shows up at a military training camp to kill the guy who analyzed the pills. Risey learns those pills have gamma radiation within them. Ross talks on the phone to Betty, and now they are okay as he prepares to speak to the press outside the White House. Sam is then shown outside of the hospital where Falcon Jr. was taken, and the leader just shows up there too and surrenders himself. And again, like for really no reason at all. He states that his only possible move now is to expose Ross for what he really is. Before this, he hacked the White House speakers again off screen and started playing a recording of the call the two previously had.
Bro, Loki Yeah, the leader is not like a villain. Like he's totally within his rights and it's justified in wanting to do all that because 16 years, like, and being promised lies and being accused of something that you weren't even responsible for. It's like I sympathized with him. And I feel like I sympathized with him too much because none of what he did was bad.
I mean, starting a war, like I would say that's definitely bad. Like,
yeah.
See, this is like my issue with him. He could have ended the movie immediately if all he wanted to do was expose Ross for his crimes, of mistreating him, keeping him a prisoner without anything. He could have just went along with Sam and the new Falcon and just say, hey, this guy did all sorts of stuff to me. He tortured me, etc., etc. This is not a good man, and that would have ruined his legacy. And he did need to have killed like a bunch of people or caused World War III to do that. So I don't know. It's just another problem of writing a smart character stupidly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Okay, let's skip to the Red Hulk.
So Ross hears the phone call on the speakers, and all the reporters hear it too, and they're just like, Ross, what do you think about this? How do you feel about this? And like he just loses control and starts turning to the Red Hulk. As a Red Hulk, he has the ability to burn things by touching them. The more angrier he gets, all his clothes burn off, except of course his pants conveniently. Then he fights Cap and partially destroys the White House. As they're fighting, secret agents also start shooting at Ross, but bullets do nothing to him, while Cap's vibranium knives do hurt, or his vibranium feathers really do hurt him. Captain Falcon.
I just find it interesting that he'd never gotten angry enough ever, all the time taking the pills to ever transform.
Yeah, and there are several times when he gets close to getting really angry, but the leader somehow knew he would never get angrier until that moment.
Yeah.
So
until he pulled up with his spit.
Yeah. So Captain Falcon just keeps on taking attacks from the Red Hulk and loses one wing until he accumulates enough kinetic energy to release it, stabbing Red Hulk with his other wing, exploding the whole area. Both survive, and as Sam is getting on his feet, Red Hulk gets up too. Then Cap tries appealing to him by convincing him that he's not actually a bad guy, which causes him to finally go back to normal. How do you guys feel about this? I guess this is the fight. I just thought it was like a horrendous mess.
It sounds like it was too easy for Falcon. Like I said earlier, you know what I'm saying? It's like now that he's had like his first big fucking fight against a big fucking villain, it's like, well, now it's just really fucking easy. It's like all he has to do now is just take the fucking damage, like charge up his kinetic energy, then throw himself at him, and he wins the day. It's like done.
Yeah, also, I will admit that the CGI for the Hulk was incredible. It looked really good, a lot better than the trailers, so I think they did improve. Usually this doesn't happen. Usually what you see in the trailers is what you get in the film.
Thought Rolk looked good, yeah.
Well, that makes sense considering this was the main draw. Everyone...
the incredible... Sorry.
Yeah.
That was a great showcase of like the Hulk's abilities, like from the Thunderclap, which Mark Ruffalo's Hulk I don't think ever used. The leaps.
Or the leap.
I think he used it. I think Norton used it like once.
Yeah, but like Ruffalo never did.
Yeah. And
when he was like chasing them through the forest, that was fucking badass. It legit startled me where like he turns around, and he's just there. Like no, that's the thing. Like Hulk's supposed to be scary, man. Like he's a monster.
Yeah, like a big red man chasing you is really scary. Yeah.
Groovy guy, I got a good audio drama I think you might like. It's basically an adaptation of like the Hulk and Wolverine meeting each other for the first time, then fighting Wendigo. I think you might like that. I'll send it to you.
Oh, thanks. I like all things Hulk.
All right.
Yeah, that was cool. But fight obviously had to end with like Captain America winning because that's like the film, you can't have the villain win, or you can, but like Marvel's not gonna take that risk. I mean, they did it in like Infinity War, but that's the only time.
That's a special occasion. They're not gonna do that for every occasion.
Yeah, and just him overpowering the Red Hulk, it was just kind of dumb. It reminds me of like Iron Man like sucker punching Mark Ruffalo Hulk with like the Iron Buster suit. Yep. The Hulk Buster. I think that was also dumb. I feel like this is kind of similar.
Yeah. What should have happened? What should have happened really is that is what happened when Blonsky in the 2008 film tried challenging Hulk. He's kicked him into a tree.
Yeah.
And just broke him. It just doesn't matter that he has like vibranium armor. Like the amount of force that the Red Hulk was putting onto Sam should have killed him. And it really takes you out of it because you've seen how strong the Hulk is in previous movies. It doesn't matter how much the armor can absorb force. A body that still should take a strain on the body. To a degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought that was dumb. It didn't bother me super much. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, also when he when Ross swings like the pole, and like Sam catches it, despite being like a regular dude, that was also like something that bothered me.
Yeah.
Also, is the actor for Betty Ross actually an elf? Because she did not age a day. That was fucking crazy.
Yeah, that reminds me. So the movie ends with Ross taken to the Raft prison, where he gets pity points by being told that his treaty with the other world governments ended up being a success, and Betty shows up to visit him, and both reconnect. He gave up his presidency and faced charges, and as a show of good faith, Japan decided to respect the treaty, calling it the Osaka-Ross Treaty or something like that. A final news montage implies the movie is called Brave New World for what the adamantium will bring to the world in the future. Isaiah gets released from prison, and while Captain Falcon visits Falcon Jr. at the hospital, Cap decides to reunite the Avengers.
I don't know if you had I got the impression that he was going to want to recruit Red Hulk for the Avengers. Kind of felt that a little bit.
I'm going to be honest. I think besides like Anthony Mackie, everyone else, there's no guarantee that they're going to show up in another MCU movie ever again. I think that's why they have them like, they're all the villains are in prison, but I think they're just going to stay there unless something major happens. Maybe Harrison Ford, but everyone else, I'm not sure.
All right, let's skip to the post-credit scene then.
Oh yeah, this is the dumbest post-credit scene.
You know what it ripped off?
MCU movie.
Yeah.
You know what it ripped off? It ripped off Lex Luthor warning Batman about fucking Steppenwolf coming in Darkseid. It's like, oh, they're coming, and you're not gonna be able to do anything about it. It's like,
even then, I'll give the movie, I'll give that some credit because at the very least, that's something audience didn't know for 5 years. We've known about the multiverse for 5 years. So it's a useless post-credit scene because we already know about the multiverse. We already know.
Yeah.
We don't even get anything.
What could possibly be coming from this? Like fucking like Maestro or whoever? I don't even know what they're setting up this bullshit.
That would be cool.
But Disney will cock it up.
Yeah, that's the post-credit scene.
And then also, like, I immediately wrote this in my notes. I'm like, why was it a post-credits? Just put it at the end of the film. Like, you don't have to move it to the end, like post-credits, because like nothing happened at all.
Yeah.
We've accomplished nothing.
Yeah. So overall, I feel like my rating for this film like decreased after like we went through it again. Because it was cool in theaters. Because it was like the action was all right. I liked it personally, and like it didn't do anything that made me like angry like some other films do. I'm like, oh, that's so stupid. That stupid moment was like not that stupid. So I think overall I would like decrease it from like a 7.5 out of 10 to like maybe like a 6.5 or 7 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's like offensively bad. Like it's not. It doesn't destroy the MCU, but it's just like again, it's just a long-running trend of mediocre films that we've been seeing, and that's not what these like Marvel and that's not what MCU movies should be, because they are supposed to be like the top of the
cream
line,
of the crop,
like, showcasing of CGI, just like technological marvels, but we're not getting that.
No pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, again, like I said, I'm honestly leaning towards a 5 because again, like the leader the leader just really pissed me off, because if you follow the mystery of the film, it doesn't make sense. The leader's character sets everyone up by stealing an adamantine capsule from Japan, knowing that Captain America will come there as support, and then knew that he and a previous Captain America were connected, and that he would bring him along to the presidential party, use this previous Captain America as a Manchurian candidate of sorts, like by mind controlling him, even though he also got 4 other government agents who also turned via some method, but the plan was to not kill Ross because he wants to humiliate him, so he gives him Red Hulk pills and tips off the Japanese intel agencies that America stole adamantium capsules, even though he had no reason to start a war over the Celestial Island, but he wanted the Red Hulk to smash the Japanese warships and just lead to a war.
Yeah.
But then, even when he did transform into the Hulk, that doesn't really incriminate Ross, because again, it's just the leader poisoning him with Red Hulk pills. So it really begs into question what he's accomplishing, because it's not Ross's actions. It's not so much of Ross's actions that's leading to this outcome, but more so the leaders. And
it's more like how culpable is Ross in this whole scenario, basically.
Yeah, and the leader could have been really sympathetic if he didn't go through this plan in the first place, and instead just hacked Captain America's phone, or just send cryptic messages getting him to save him. Or even then, he could have just been just a traditionally evil guy saying, "I want to take over the world," and that I would have been more forgiving. But they try to paint him as a totally sympathetic dude, when there's so many other ways you could have accomplished your goal, if all you wanted was to expose Ross. Mm-hmm. And that's just my thoughts on the leader. Yeah. But any other closing thoughts, or just anything else of note before?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not a Marvel fan. I mean, I like the Hulk a lot, but I didn't treat this as a Hulk film. I just treated it oh, cool, some Hulk cameos. The leader could have been handled a lot better. He wasn't horrible, but he was just all right. And because my expectations have just become so low for the MCU, I thought it was, decent. It wasn't horrible, but again, if this was an entry into DC, I would probably shit on it a lot more. Birds of Prey, I hate that film because it's really shit. Shazam, I hate that film because it's really shit and it's DC. If this was DC,
Fear of the Gods is really shit. That's really
yeah. The first one I didn't like that much. The first one was good until the second half, but that's another story. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, or the Suicide Squad, that's also brain rot nonsense. I didn't like that at all either.
The original one, the 2016 one?
No, the second one. The first one was dude, that was a cultural phenomenon, man. Everyone was talking about it. Second one, bro, I swear to God, when I saw the second one, I was are they re-releasing the film? What's going on? What was the? You just put the in the front and it's different now? That's stupid.
Yeah, I definitely think, regardless of what box office it makes, I think Sam Wilson's version of Captain America has definitely taken a blow. I think public perception, he's definitely not regarded the same way as Chris Evans was when he was in the role.
Nope.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah. And Backseater, correct me if I'm wrong, but even when he was turned into Captain America, that was not a really popular thing to do, because because they made him back to Falcon and then made him Captain America again
for this film. Hated in the comics, hated in the film. No one likes it. No one wants it. Marvel ain't doing anything to change that perception.
Yeah. And I guess I'll close on this. It might sound like we hate Anthony Mackie or the Falcon to some people. I don't think I don't. At least I don't think we do. It's more so you're kind of taking a dump on this character's entire history by saying that he only matters now when he's taking up another mantle.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is the Falcon, despite being around since
the 70s, late 60s, early 70s. It's like Falcon was legit the first black comic book character to get his name on the title, like not lead his own book. That was Luke Cage, and not the first overall. That was Black Panther, but he was the first to get his name in the title of a book. You're telling me he didn't matter back then? It's like he only matters now if he's like taking Steve's hand-me-downs? You shitting me with this?
Yeah, and there are so many more ways you could put new ideas into this character, just like make him more interesting to. Just make it more interesting.
Make him more of a solo character. Make him more of a solo character, because for a long time, like Falcon, a lot of people say he wasn't Cap Psychic, but he really kind of was. Like you could, he really was. It's like you could try to make him more of like a solo character, see if he works in that. Now, personally, I don't think he really does. I think some characters just work better as part of an ensemble cast than on their lonesome. But anyway,
also, he shouldn't have had the sidekick.
Yes.
The way of distinguishing him is like he has to do everything himself.
Yes, Joaquin Torres is just shit. Anyway, it shouldn't exist. But either way, it's like, it's just Marvel. I just get the feeling that Marvel doesn't know what the hell to do with Falcon, which is why they're trying to push this square peg into a round hole, and really could say that with a lot of their other characters. So yeah.
Because like I'll be honest, like Chris Evans, Captain America, like they're not like huge boots to fill. His like performances aren't necessarily like breathtaking.
No,
he's kind of like
the minute you could tell the minute the MCU is going downhill. You could argue it's Captain Marvel, and it was certainly that film was shit. But another fucking way you'd be like, oh yeah, this is where the spark was lit that led to its downfall, was when they killed Iron Man off and they just let Steve travel back in time to live out the rest of his days. It's like they absolutely should have recasted Iron Man and freaking Captain America there. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe they just like restart everything.
I think like, either that either that. Personally, what I would do if I were Endgame, but let's be real, the MCU is a moneymaker, and there's no way in hell Disney's gonna let go of that sweet dough. But either way, what I personally would do is that if I were Kevin Feige, I'd stop MC Productions, go all in on animation, and just adapt the fucking original comics word for word.
Okay, I disagree. I don't like that idea.
You know what?
I think if you want to read,
what the heck, Groovy?
If you want to read the comics, read the comics.
Groovy got a big fucking reoccurring argument like, oh, I can't get into Marvel or DC. It's because they've been running for too long. I have to read all their comics to catch up. Well, this is a way to catch them up. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you mean. I just don't like because the thing, it reminds me of the Last of Us show, because the Last of Us show is like word for word, frame for frame, music for music. Like, it's so stupid. Just
the Last of Us show was already an interactive movie, so it wasn't a good choice to adapt anyway.
Exactly.
At least for that, but at least with the freaking books, it's just like.
I see what you mean.
Okay.
I just.
All right, whatever.
I think they're different mediums, but for example, I think it could work, but maybe not.
I just don't think. All right, well, and even then, Last of Us made a bunch of shitty ass changes no one liked, but now we're getting off topic.
Anyway, it was really awesome meeting you back.
Yeah, you're welcome, Reskin.
I agree with you to an extent, Backseater. Like, I definitely think DC has a monopoly on just
animation
movies.
Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of them are really well animated, and I have fond memories of a lot of them, like the Justice League versus the Crime Syndicate. That was a banger. And then you have like shows like Justice League Unlimited.
My favorite
Justice League show. Those are great.
Yes.
Yeah, and Marvel hasn't really tapped into that, and when they did like with Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, they haven't been able to replicate that. They haven't been able to replicate that since. All you have now are just like shows trying to copy the movies. What they should be doing is just trying to take the comics, like the well-made comic stories, and bring that and bring that. It's okay if the movies want to try their own spin or interpretations of the comics, but if I genuinely think that animated movies will tell the medium much better than live action.
And we saw this copying MCU bullshit when they canceled EMH, and then here comes Assemble, that bullshit show. Yeah. I hated Assemble.
Yeah, but that's all I really have to say. Do you guys have any other closing thoughts?
I'm good.
Nah, I think I gave mine. It was nice talking
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
for this film with you guys. I got the what's it called? Let me show you guys real quick. I got the cup. You know, the collectible
The
cup,
cup?
for the it
Captain
was like
America Shield Cup?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
no.
Yeah, no, I thought it looked cool. So was it horrible? No. Was it great? No. Was it good? Maybe. I think it was all right. I think, a 5 out of 10 score is good. I would give it maybe a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah.
Everything.
Reminder. This is Rezikin. Go subscribe to him. Like, I'm KinoFlex Reviews. Please subscribe to me if you like my content over there. This is the Backseater. He's a goat. Go subscribe to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, I'm always on.
I need to start making money.
Yeah, I'm always on Ultimate Joker's channel. I usually feature on his videos, kind of like executive producer role. So yeah, go check out that channel for more of me, because on my channel it's pretty much kind of dead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, we all have humble beginnings. The only even if you're at the bottom, like, the only way forward to go is up. That's my mentality.
Yeah.
All right, peace out, guys. This was pretty awesome. We should do it again.
So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment below if you thought of it, subscribe for more videos like this, and we'll see you guys next time in the backseat. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Later.